Hello. Hi, Julie and Carol. Welcome, ladies. As we come bopping in to our call this month, welcome. Sage is here. Woo-hoo!
Woo! Hello, Serena and Carol Ann and Renee and Kathy. Hi, Julie. Hi, Leah. Hi, Lisa. Welcome, welcome. We're so excited to get you the tools this month to keep growing your tribe and growing your database, growing your list. What just happened to Serena? Where'd she go?
I'm back.
There she is. Hi, Renee. How are you guys doing? Welcome, welcome. For some of you, this is your first official content call of ELA. And for many of you, you are already growing your tribe and growing your list. Hi, Marion. As you guys are hopping on, just unmute yourselves and say hi and let us know where you're calling in from.
Hi, Caroline calling in from Toronto.
Hi, Caroline.
Welcome.
I'm Leah from Maryland.
Hi, Leah from Maryland.
Hi, this is Marian from Finland.
Oh, we got Finland in the house.
Hi.
Hi, this is Kay from Australia.
Oh, not that far away.
Welcome down under.
Cindy from Chicago.
Welcome, Cindy.
Charmaine from Newport Beach. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Woo-hoo.
Hi, Charmaine from Newport Beach. Hi, Letitia. Who else is in the house? We have Australia, we have Finland, we have Newport Beach.
Oceanside. Becca.
Hi, Becca.
Welcome,
Hi.
Becca. Pamela made it.
All right, as you guys are popping on, just say your name and where you're from. We're excited to get you these tools on list building. We're gonna start in just a minute once everybody gets settled. Hi, Liza. Wait, is it Liza or Lisa?
Oh, I'm on. It's Lisa.
Lisa. All right, Lisa, we're gonna get this. We're so excited you're here.
Think of ease. Lisa.
Got it. Yes. You've got that easy spirit.
There you go.
Lisa Eddy, San Francisco.
Hi, San Francisco's in the house.
Hi, it's Kat from Ventura.
Hi, Ventura. Hi, Kat. Good to see you.
You too, hon.
Judy from Nashville.
Yay, Judy from Nashville's in the house. All right, you guys, let's dive in and we'll keep taking questions and interacting with you on the Facebook group in a few minutes. Shannon's in the house. Hi, Shannon Fisher. We're so excited to have you. I want to give an extra special warm welcome to all of our newer clients who have just been joining us in the last few weeks. We're so excited you're here. Congratulations for your decision to dive right into the content. We're excited to see you in a couple weeks at the 1440 Retreat Center. This call is all about list building and tribe building and getting people's attention, especially in the online world, which is going to feed everything else that you do, right? It's going to feed your speaking engagements and your discovery sessions. So we want to give you an overview and we want to get you some really tangible tools that you can use right away to get people's attention online. And since we are online right now and you have the attention of dozens of other Entrepreneurial Leadership Academy students, let's give each other, as you're popping on, a big wahoo. Just unmute yourselves and give each other a wahoo for being here, focused on your clients, your business, your mission that matters. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yay, so good to see all of you. And take a moment to look at the camera and give each other a little nod of like, here we are, we're doing this. People are waiting for us and we're willing to get out of our own way and get our messages out there, no matter how perfectly or imperfectly it all goes. Woo. Give each other a kiss. Mwah. And give it, and just one more time, raise your hand if you can actually feel the energy coming back through the screen into your heart. Can you feel that coming back into your heart? You are not alone in this crazy journey of list building. So as we dive into the topic here today, I want to actually turn it over to Shannon to get you a couple of quick updates about your coaching sessions and the upcoming retreat and all of it. I know, Shannon, that for those women who are just joining us in the last couple weeks, they're going to be getting their coaching assignments by the end of the week. Is that right?
Yeah. You just have to fill out your survey to get your coaching assignment. So you've been added to your membership site. You've got your official welcome email with your login details. Be sure to log into your membership site and check it out. Pay attention, special attention to the calendar tab where you can put down all the dates for the calls so that you're sure to be on them, getting loved up and motivated and coached. And then go over to your home tab and fill out your survey. The home tab or the welcome tab tells you everything that you need to do to get started. And you'll fill out a survey. And as soon as we receive your survey, we're going to assign you a coach. And you'll
Yay! And we went over all that yesterday on the Jumpstart call. If you didn't make the Jumpstart call, be sure to review it. And then I know we have an announcement for women that have been with us since the spring, Shannon, in terms of their coaching sessions.
Yes. So if you've been with us since spring, your first half of your coaching sessions expire on October 31st at the end of this month. So you have one more month to get the first half of your coaching done. So that would be your 5 sessions. Most of you have had your 5 sessions up till now, but if you haven't, be sure to get in and get booked. Don't save them to the end because your coaching sessions expire and we want you to use them as you go. If you need to review the policies, you can go to your coaching tab in the membership site.
And I'll just say one more thing about that, if it's okay, Shannon. I want to let you guys know that you need the coaching sooner rather than later. That's why we have to do it this way. Like, we actually have to get you guys to book those darn sessions because we want to get you moving in your business. And if you hold all your coaching sessions till the very end of the course, your coaches might not be available to fulfill on those coaching sessions because they're super busy, right? And so we want you using those like pretty much monthly. All right, back to you.
I want to say one more thing you just reminded me, Sage. Some of the most powerful sessions are when you hop on and you don't know what you need to get coached on. And I've had clients coming to me and they're like, I booked a session, but honestly, I'm stuck. I don't know where I want to be. And those are super powerful sessions. So if you haven't been booking your coaching because you're like, I don't know what to say and what to work on, come anyways. We will help redirect you. All right. So the next thing I want to bring up is our October retreat is just around the corner. We can't wait to see you.
How many of you are so excited to get your little butts to the Bay Area? Gorgeous retreat center. We're so excited to have you.
Yes, we can't wait. I have some prep materials for you. They're in your inbox. They've been sent in an email, and they're also in your events tab in your membership site. You want to prepare for this retreat with your signature talk and your signature story draft. Emphasis on draft. It can be a sloppy copy. It does not need to be perfect, whole, and complete. We will work on it together. You just want to bring your outline and your draft for your signature talk and or your signature story and your offer. It's going to be super hot.
And for those of you that are new students, don't worry. We're gonna walk you all the way through it. If you have time to listen to those 2 training calls before the retreat, it will only serve you. But never fear, no matter where you walk into that retreat, we're gonna hold your hand and make sure that you get everything you need to draft your story and your offer before you leave the retreat.
Yes, yes, yes. Thanks for weaving that in, Sage. This is for all of you, whether you're new or you're from spring. We want you to come with something to wear that's white. It can be a full-blown white outfit if you have one that you love and wear. We're going to do a special ceremony on at the event, and we want you to wear something that's white and that's special to you, that makes you feel abundant and wealthy and worthy. It can be a beautiful scarf. It doesn't have to be a whole outfit, but bring something for your ceremony that's white. We also want you to bring an object to release. This is an object that can be anything from your home. It could be even a rock that you pick up on your walk. It's something symbolizing you're ready to release. So we're going to take you through that as well. So bring those things. Check your events tab for all this information and make sure you've RSVP'd. Okay, we have a tribe call. I want to let you guys know this is a bonus call. We have some tribe members who are coming to a call tomorrow. I'm going to be on there coaching. I would love to have you. If you want some extra coaching call or coaching on that call, hop on. It's in your classes tab. You'll see it as a bonus call for tomorrow. It's at 10 a.m. Last but not least, we have an exciting challenge in the works for you. We're
going to announce it at the event, not right now.
We got this.
You have to wait to get all those details until you come to the event. We're going to hold you in suspense. Is that okay, Shannon?
That's perfect.
Yay, perfect. And I do really want to emphasize, you guys, that those extra Q&A calls on how to grow your tribe are awesome for any questions you have about finding more people to have discovery sessions with, hosting your talks. Shannon is oftentimes on those calls, other coaches, trainers. We just want to make sure you guys have as much time for Q&A as possible. So all that information's in your tab.
I want to do I have one last announcement, and this is super exciting and super generous, and I want to do one last big hoorah for this. You guys got so close to your enrollment points for your group goal. So close. You were like 50 points away from getting your 600 goal. I personally feel like you guys have 50 points in you. You guys have been posting on the Facebook page about your signature talks and getting your clients. And we did something really, really generous because you worked so hard all these months to get to your group goal. We actually tallied up some of the enrollment points that we've been earning on our team. Serena's been giving signature talks. We've been giving signature talks. We've been doing discovery sessions. We tallied up our points. Claire's been out there doing discovery sessions and getting new clients. We have tallied up those points to help close the gap because this is a really big group effort and you guys made it so close. And you guys are sitting at 580 points. You're 20 points away from your group goal. And to be honest, we're preparing for this party. We need those 20 points. So today on the Facebook page, I'm going to repost that enrollment tab and I'm looking for 20 more points from all of you.
So let's give you, through next week. Now, our newer students have no idea what we're talking about. You guys are like, what are these points about? You're going to hear all about them at the retreat. Essentially, for the last few months, the spring students have been in a contest where they get points for doing enrollment conversations. They get points for doing signature talks. And we told them we'd throw them a party if they hit 600. And now they're 20 points short of 600. And you guys are going to get to come to the party too. And in the winter, you guys are going to get to make up the effort and pay back the spring clients for all their effort. And you new clients are going to get a chance to take some efforts that are going to benefit the spring clients as well. So it'll be like a give and take. So raise your hand if you guys would be down to keep reporting any signature talks that you do, any enrollment conversations that you practice, any discovery sessions that you do, and see if we can close the gap on those 20 points. Raise your hand if you guys are down. Okay, Shannon's going to post a little enrollment point. Look for the enrollment point sticker and post them right there. Okay, we'll remind you guys again at the end of the call. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Shannon, for these. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Perfect. Back to you.
So today's topic today is list building and tribe building. And the very nature of list building and tribe building is going to ask that you be more visible, right? That you get your message out into the world, that you step out and let people see you. And there are going to be days and times and places and spaces and weeks, sometimes days, sometimes weeks, that we're just like, I don't feel like being visible today. I actually had one of those days, a couple days in a row last week, where my plumbing literally went out in my house. Like, first of all, no hot water. Then the bathtub started backing up. Oh wait, it gets worse with poop water. Yes, poop water. So here I am, right? My bathtub is filling up with poop water. I'm trying to lead a call. For for a group of my JV partners who get together, and I'm starting to smell poop. I'm like, what's going on? I hear the plumbing going like the pipes. Yeah. This is one of the worst things that can happen to a house, that poop is floating around, right? And it was that very day that, I don't know, my neck started to hurt like so bad. My shoulder got all crunched up. I had way more things on the to-do list than I thought I could ever get to in a million years. My team was waiting for me on a meeting that afternoon, and me being late, like seriously crunched them. And it was one of those days. Have you guys ever had those days? Like raise your hand if you've had those days, or just type yes into the comments below if you've had those days of, I just want to put on a hoodie or dig a hole in the ground and get into it and have the ground like swallow me whole. It was in the middle of that day that I actually got an invitation to speak on a really exciting stage in the Bay Area. And I got to speak alongside my mentor. I was being asked to speak alongside my mentor, Michael Beckwith. And they needed to know, we need to know by 5 p.m. today. And I'm looking at the date, it's like a couple weeks out. And that particular night that they want me to speak, I have like a zillion things going on. I don't know how I'm going to make it work. It doesn't make any sense to put one more thing on the calendar. I can barely think straight. And I did what I always do when I feel like the walls are closing in on me. I had a good cry. I meditated for a few minutes, and I called Serena. I called a girlfriend and I cried my eyes out about everything that was hard. And then I got back to the event coordinator and I said, you know what? Absolutely, I'll be there, right? It's a chance to speak alongside my amazing mentor, Michael Beckwith. So yes, needs to come before you figure out how all this visibility stuff is going to work, how all this tribe building stuff is going to work. Are you willing to say yes with an open heart? Are you willing to say yes even when you don't know how you're going to figure it out? Are you willing to say yes to the people that are waiting for you even when you're scared, even when you're nervous? Are you willing to say yes and just keep moving in the direction of the people that are waiting for you? Are you willing? You know, are you willing to put up the free gift? Are you willing to send an email out to dozens of people or hundreds of people, even when it's scary, right? Are you willing? And from that place, your willingness to say yes, even though the bathtub might be filling up with poop water, it's going to carry you so far, right? And forgive me for talking about poop. It just was like one of those things where it's like, oh my God, if I'm not going to cry about this, I'm going to laugh really, really hard. And somebody needs to know that this is happening.
The vulnerability that Sage is sharing right now, that attracts our clients to us. We're human beings having a human experience. And one of the traps that I can get into is thinking that I have to be perfect or have it all figured out or never, ever forget what I'm going to say, right? I put all that pressure on myself to be other than human. And so I'm alongside Sage encouraging you and each and every one of you to bring your humanity forward and let people know what's really going on.
And on those buddy calls that you're doing, you know, don't be afraid to do some sessions where you share your fears with each other in a concise kind of a way. Set the timer for 5 minutes. We're going to teach you a little bit more about spring cleaning at the next retreat. So you have a process for continuing to clear those fears, right? Because it's not about those fears just going away forever. It's about clearing them, cleaning them out so you can be a channel for the energy flowing through you. And please make a note, when you commit fully to your business, more energy can flow through you. Does that make sense? It's the commitment that actually allows more energy to come. And Reverend Michael Beckwith is actually a wonderful spokesperson for commitment. One of his first beliefs of making life and a career and a spiritual path fully happen is he's always, you know, speaking into the very first step is commitment. And if you have never watched Reverend Michael's sermons on Sunday mornings, they're live streamed on the internet. And he is a non-denominational spiritual teacher who has a very clear mission on this planet of helping people live their spiritual purpose on the planet. So if you believe that your business is a part of your spiritual path, and if you've never tuned in to Reverend Michael on Sunday mornings, you can just go to agapelive.com. There's 2 times to choose from on Sunday mornings, but I'll tell you what, it is an incredible uplift. Raise your hand. Anybody ever been to Agape or watched Reverend Michael? So you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you guys like him? He's so inspiring. I've been watching him lately, and I've just been reminded what a huge gift it is for those of us on a path of purpose to hear his words. You know, he speaks to the United Nations, he travels around the world, he works with the Dalai Lama. Like, his mission is to make sure we are all living our spiritual mission. So very powerful. Let's talk a little bit about strategy. And as we're doing that, and before we actually do that, I'd love to just hear from a couple of you. What is the thing that you do to raise your vibration when you don't feel like being visible, right? You don't feel like being visible, but you know you need to get back on track. What do you do? 1 sentence or less. What do you do to get back on track so that you can be building the tribe, getting out there, booking the speaking engagements, getting on social media? What do you got, Michelle Lyons?
I meditate and I call a friend.
Yes. I love that you said both, because I think it really takes both. I think we need to know that we can show up for ourselves, but I also think we need to know, and our little girls need to know, that we don't have to do it alone. I think both are true. I love that you do both. Give her a kiss. Mwah. What else do you guys do? Phoebe.
Sorry. I go out in the world, even if it's just to the grocery store or go to a gathering or meeting or networking, or it doesn't even have to be a business networking, but just go out and be around other people.
Yes.
Stirs it up for me.
It's like the opposite of isolation.
Yes.
Just go out there and remember that the world's a safe place, right? We live in the United States, right? Like, not all of us do. Some of us live in Finland and Australia, but we live in Western countries where it's safe to go outside, right? We're not going to get harassed most places. Give her a kiss, mwah, right? It's like retraining ourselves that, oh, we can be around people. It's safe to be visible. I love that. All right, last one, Kathy Smith.
So I do 2 things. I go to my tribe at the yoga studio, and then I come home at night and take a Epsom salt bath with lavender.
Yes, Serena and I love Epsom salt baths all the time. And when you guys are taking Epsom salt baths, it's like amazing way to clear energy. And you want to use 2 full cups of Epsom salts. None of this like 2 tablespoons silliness, okay? You need 2 full cups, and that's what clears your energy field and really resets you. And then the movement, you know, the movement, the yoga, the taking a walk, taking a hike, exercising, it's going to get the energy moving through you. I love these. So as we're going through these strategies, keep breathing. We'll take a few different moments throughout the call to take questions. I want to start with this handout right here. It's called List Building. It's your big picture client funnel. Okay, so this should have been in your classes tab, in your client forum. And this is a great handout for you to refer to again and again. This is kind of one of those core handouts. But really, Serena and I want to talk about the 3 stages of business for just a moment before we give you our 15 sort of core list building strategies. Because the 3 components of business that you're always going to want to be thinking about are lead generation, right? Making sure enough people are paying attention to you. Then of course, once those people are paying attention to you, you got to sell them something, right? You actually have to enroll them to turn them into your client. And then once you have a client, you've got to take care of them, right? You're fulfilling on your promises. And that's going to be a part of what creates the engine of your business. Does it make sense? Right? You've got to actually pay attention to all 3. Raise your hand if you would love to just spend all of your time in fulfillment, right? I've asked some of you this before, right? You'd much rather just have somebody hand you a bunch of clients and take care of them, right? Welcome to the party. Guess what? Good luck. That's called going and getting a job, right? If you want to have your own business, yes, there will be times it feels challenging. It might feel challenging a lot of the time, but I promise you it's worth it to learn how to do lead generation and how to do sales. And when you're willing to learn those two things and do them authentically and even, oh my gosh, have fun with them, right? The more strategies you learn, the more people you're going to be able to help. So let's start out by talking a little bit about lead generation, because that's essentially what this call is about, right? This call is about lead generation. This call is about getting the message out online. So I'll tell you what, as soon as you have 5,000 people paying attention to you specifically on your list, not 5,000 people on Facebook, but until you have 5,000 people opted into your emailing list, right? That's when they've actually trusted you with their email address. They've entered your email address into a website. Right? Once you have about 5,000, you're going to experience a very big tipping point in people being kind of ready to hear from you. Like whenever you want to put a few more discovery sessions on the calendar, whenever you need a few more clients, having 5,000 people on that list is an incredible shift in how quickly then interest comes back toward you. Does that make sense? And so for most of you in Entrepreneurial Leadership Academy, that is your goal because you're not there yet. Most of you are not there yet. But here's what, and some of you have lists of 20 or 50 or 150 or 400 and you're thinking, oh my God, 5,000 is so much. But I'm here to tell you, and Serena is here to tell you that it's kind of like one of those curves. What's that called when the more you have, the faster it grows? Do you guys remember what that's called? Right? Like the more you have, the faster it grows. So when you get to the point where you have 500 on your list, you're way more close to 1,000 than you think.
Exponential?
Exponential growth, yes. Exponential growth, right? Because when you think about it, when you have 500 people paying attention to you, then those 500 people are talking to their friends. And when you have 1,000 people, then those 1,000 people are talking to their friends. So the jump from 500 to 1,000 is actually going to take you a little bit longer probably than the jump from 1,000 to 3,000. Does that make sense? So what's cool is that once you get some of these strategies going, like we're going to teach you today, you'll be surprised that when you keep going for it and you use all the different social media strategies, it doesn't take as long as you think it's going to get to that 5,000. Now, how do you start to do lead generation when you don't have, like you're just starting from scratch? Okay, so here's the four things, and forgive my spell check here. My spell check thinks that I'm not spelling things right, but you know, my spell check and I are gonna have to sit down and have a little conversation after this call because my spell check clearly doesn't know what's going on. These 4 things are the 4 fastest ways to grow your list in order. Speaking is the fastest. Being live in front of anybody is the fastest way to create warm leads, okay? Social media is the second fastest. Having people doing affiliate promotions, posting for you, emailing for you is the third fastest. And website visitors and people opting in and signing up for your free gift, that's the 4th fastest, okay? So we speak to this more in the website training call, which is in your library. Some of you have already had it. And even within the phase of lead generation, there is building the relationship. Does that make sense? Right? Some of you guys think, oh, I don't really need to build the relationship until somebody's thinking about hiring me. No, that's not how it works. Lead generation is about building the relationship. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? Lead generation is about getting people closer to you rather than they just see a post on Facebook, right? Rather than they just see you doing something on Facebook. The next step then is inviting them to actually like your page, inviting them to watch a video on Facebook, inviting them into a Facebook group with you, right? Doing interviews with experts, right? Telesummits, some kind of video series. And then a lot of us forget that if somebody says they're interested in talking to us or coming to a speaking engagement, that's not actually enough. The next thing that we have to do is actually nurture those potential clients along, right? With email reminders and phone reminders and free gifts. One of the things that we're going to be teaching you guys this winter when we talk about how do you launch a Facebook group really effectively? How do you start doing video into that Facebook group? One of the things that we're going to be talking to you guys about is, incentives and free gifts. Why would they want to go into the Facebook group? Well, one of the reasons they'd want to go in there is if you were doing a really cool video on how to balance your hormones or how to talk confidently about sex to your partner, right? Every time you give content away as a way to get to know somebody better, they feel closer and closer to you. And they're closer and closer to being ready to invest. Does that make sense? It used to be that 2 or 3 touch points online was enough. We're living at a time where it's more like 12 to 20 touch points on the internet is what's required to warm somebody up to potentially buy from you. So we're going to be teaching you how to do that today, how to continue to warm up relationships with the people that are paying attention to you online. But we wanted to have you see the big picture. So now that I've talked about lead generation, let's talk specifically about sales and enrollment, Serena, just for a few minutes.
Yep. So where does all this relationship building end? It ends in a sales conversation, in an enrollment conversation where we are enrolling our clients to invest in themselves through us. We need these discovery sessions to fill our private practices and our group programs. And I just had this experience happen myself where I was filling my group program and I was going back to my list. And I was reaching out to people who had said yes to be on my list and emailing them there's an opportunity to talk with me. If I hadn't had my list and the ability to reach out, I wouldn't have had anyone to talk to. And I had empty seats in my program. So I can't say enough, even from my firsthand experience, of how important it is to continue to keep nurturing your relationships so that you can have an enrollment conversation. An enrollment conversation is where you offer your private time so that you can help them have some one-on-one coaching, mentorship. Remember that it's really important that you have a way to invite people in to have these conversations with you. Now, when you're in these enrollment conversations, it's an opportunity for you to really find out who your people are, talking to them about what they want and what they need and what they're really struggling with, so that you can really see if you're a fit to work together. Your second step after you have one of these conversations is to make them an offer for your program, or do a second step where you follow up with them, because many people need to think about it. But this is the way to fill your private programs and your group programs. And in the library, we're going to put lots of information for you to really digest and see what it means to make an offer, whether it's an offer in an enrollment conversation or it's an offer in your group program. So stay tuned for that. This skill of selling is something that most women are allergic to. We don't like to be sold to. We don't like to be pressured. And what Sage has done so skillfully in this program is giving you step-by-step blueprint to really have a conversation with people so that you can lead them into seeing that there's a bigger picture and there's something more that they want for themselves without having to pushy sell them. And this takes a lot of practice, ladies. Like Sage was saying, the first part of our business is lead generation. Without a sales or enrollment part of the conversation, we can't actually put people in our programs. It doesn't happen that way. And it takes courage to learn how to do this well. We often say the more no's you get, the closer you are to a yes. And I can just attest to that. I've had enrollment conversations all week and I've gotten more no's than I've gotten yeses, but I am putting people consistently into my program. So it can be learned, ladies, and this is a really important part. Sage, did I miss anything that you wanted to highlight?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I want to talk a little bit about fulfillment, because it's where we love to live. And tribe building and list building is associated with fulfillment in a way, because you can actually use your current clients to continue to grow your business. And that's one of the best ways to grow your business, is by taking amazing care of the people that do trust you and hire you. Focus on how you can move them along, how you can actually continue to serve them, and how you can invite them to help you get the word out about your services. A couple of quick tips is to always be sure to show your clients where they are on your map, right? Do you guys remember that levels of business handout? We'll go over that again at the retreat, right? But there's a levels of business handout that's in your forum. And if you're a newer student, you may not have seen it, but right? It's an opportunity for you to really see how to move along the spectrum as you grow your business. That's one of the ways that we're able to show women how powerful it can be when they choose to stay in the Women Rocking Business community for 2 or 3 years. You know, we oftentimes will overestimate what we can get done in a year and underestimate what we can get done in 3 years. So there's a lot of women that choose to stick around for 2 or 3 years so that they can really build out a 6 or multi-6. And we have some women in Leverage going for 7-figure businesses this year. And we've had, several women in Leverage over the last few years, create $1 million businesses. And that comes from the fact that they've been around getting value, and it serves them to stay with the same community. And that's going to be true for your clients as well. When you take amazing care of your clients and you're getting them the results that they're wanting, or you're working toward those results very actively, and that client can see that they're working toward those results, they're very likely to want to stay with you, right? And so nurturing and relationship building is all a part of being able to take great care of your clients, so then they can also pass the word forward about the kinds of changes they're making in their lives and help you list build by helping you get the word out. So we're going to share with you some really specific ways to actually have your clients share your message. But let's actually move over to the second handout for today, which is dun, 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 your list building handout, 15 strategies to grow your list. This is the handout I'm talking about right here so that you can follow along. And I want to see this a little bit closer because some of us are not 20 years old anymore. So we want to talk a little bit about these 15 tribe growing strategies, list building strategies, and specifically talk a little bit about your emailing list, and then how many of these strategies are going to spill over into social media. Okay, so grab this handout. Make sure you have this handout in front of you. Let's do a quick check to see if there's any quick questions about what we've laid out so far. Any quick questions? I lowered your hands because I wanted to make sure we weren't getting hands that were up from the earlier invitation to share. But does anybody have a quick question about the 3 areas of business and how list building really gets to happen all the way through the 3 levels? Michelle, quick question?
Yes, I have a question about workshops / talks and the niche market. So for example, I do a workshop on my niche market, which are single men.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only going to build my list to that niche market. Mm-hmm. So the question is doing the workshops on the niche market, but then doing other workshops that include other people. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, like you said, 3 keys to how to communicate confidently with your partner. Mm-hmm. So is that what you're saying in terms of building the list to have different talk subjects so we get a wide range on our list building?
It's a good question. So I'm actually more concerned that you build a list full of people that are your ideal clients. So everything that you're doing is talking specifically to your ideal clients. So if you're really wanting to work with single men, yes, absolutely, having 2 or 3 talks ready throughout the course of the year. You don't want to try to create 3 talks all at the same time. We would rather have you focus on 1 talk and perfect it for a few months and give that talk at a variety of different locations. You can really get good at knowing that that talk converts. And then yes, of course, sometimes it makes sense that you need to have a 2nd or 3rd talk because either you have an opportunity to get in front of the same audience again, like at a meetup group, or you know, you're going to be on somebody's stage and they're asking you to talk about a specific thing. Then that would be a reason to either adapt the talk or create another talk. But your goal right now is to build up as many, you know, single men on your list as possible.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, kiss for you. Mwah. All right, Lisa, what do you got?
Hi. Okay, so can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm pivoting my business, but I have a decent list of clients I've been working with doing healing beauty work, right? And now it's going to be, my niche is helping women recover from dating narcissists. So how do I respectfully like utilize that list, like maybe send an introductory offer? Some of them are probably going to want to be involved in the new stuff and some of them probably are not going to be.
Yep. Do you want to share, Serena, about the sort of transitioning the list? Let's make sure you're unmuted.
Yeah, so I'd be happy to answer that, Lisa. So it's really important to get permission when we have a list and we're starting something new if they want to be on the new list. We can't just shift them over. So one of the things that you can do is, like you were just brainstorming, Lisa, is send out an introductory email, something like, hey, so excited that we've all been working together. I'm up to something new, and share with them a little bit about that. And then put an opt-in button on that email so that they can opt into your new list, right? So that you actually have their permission. So they're not being solicited or contacted.
And Lisa, remind us what the old list was.
So I'm doing healing work. I'm a Reiki master, a breathwork coach. I do facials, body sculpting, detox. I work with a ton of women.
Yeah. So this is where you get into a little bit more sophistication around segmenting as well. Like you might do a talk about how to, you might do a video on how to have a healthy relationship. And that could go out to everybody on both lists once you have the I'm dating a narcissist list. We have lots of different ways of segmenting people over the years in our database where it's like, we know who's interested in speaking, we know who's interested in building their online tribe, and we'll sometimes send extra emails about a certain subject to people based on what we know they're tagged as in our system. So you want to develop, like Serena's saying, a list of people in your system, and using iContact or MailChimp, most of those are going to let you have segments of lists in your database where you can send out, and I would even send out a couple emails, maybe 2 or 3 saying, hey, I'm doing something new, might be the first announcement. The second announcement could be, have you ever dated a narcissist? Straight up, and if you have, check out this resource. Here's how to opt in for that resource. And then you know who those people are, right? And for those of you who are warming up a list, raise your hand if you've had a list in the past and you just haven't been communicating regularly. Yeah, so this is another strategy similar to what Serena's coaching Lisa to do. To warm up a list, it's not entirely different because you want to basically reach out a couple times and let them know, hey, here's what I'm up to now. And here's why I've been quiet. That's one of the things they want to know. They want to know, why wasn't she communicating, right? Well, I've been quiet because I've been re-engineering how I want to serve you. I've been quiet because I took a few months off to focus on my self-growth or my soul or my blah, 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 right? Just be real with them. Let them know what you're up to now, and you can start to warm them up again. Do you have anything else to add, Serena?
I always really love including images in those emails, right? And not just big text blocks. People are very overwhelmed these days with all the information. So make it something that's alluring to them, right? That draws them in and captures their attention so that they're wanting to open that up. And what we talked about, what Sage mentioned, a MailChimp or an Opt2, it's really important, ladies, to invest in the $5, $15 a month to have a system where you have a place where all those emails live. I remember when I first started my business, I would get someone's email on a piece of paper, and then I'd take it home, and then I'd add it into my MailChimp by hand. And that's how I grew my list. And many of you may be doing that with your phones. You may be getting people's email lists, email when you're at a networking event, but just treat that like gold. Those people have entrusted their email to you so that you can reach out to them, and trust that if they don't want that, they will opt out. It's okay. It's okay to have a list, warming them up, sending them things, and have 2 or 3 people opt out. It's not a big deal. Don't let that stop you from continuing to create a connection with people who really want to know about you. I can't tell you how many times I'm stopped at the grocery store and someone has said, I just got your email, it's amazing. And I'm like, oh my God, they opened it. Lisa, did you have another question?
May I share something really quick while we're here?
Sure.
I wanted to say thank you. That was really on point, Sage. You said how to have a healthy relationship. At the beginning, you were talking about, at the beginning of this call, how you just say yes and you don't know what you're going to do. I got asked to do a talk when I told my client I was coming out as a speaker. And so I'm speaking at the Junior League, and the topic was so on point. It is about having a healthy relationship and recovering from divorce and like how to take care of yourself in this process. I mean, right?
Yay. Isn't it interesting what happens? The more you say yes, the more committed you get, the more you're willing to take action, even when you feel like you don't have skin or you're scared or, right, you can't do it. I love it. Give her a kiss. Mwah. Congratulations. It's so excited. We're so excited for you. So let's talk a little bit about these 15 strategies. Raise your hand if you have a database full of people in your private email account, like your Google account or your Gmail account or your Hotmail account. Like you have a whole list of hundreds or maybe even over 1,000 or thousands, like personal email addresses that are connecting to you personally. Okay. So a lot of people ask me, can I just opt them all into my list? The answer is, what do you think? No, that's illegal, right? That's called solicitation, right? But what you can do is you can email that group and just let them know, like Serena's saying, you might not know that I launched a new business. Would you like to stay in touch with me regarding my business? Are you a woman who's unclear on your career path? Are you a woman who's had some, a rough history dating, like you just have not found your life partner and you're dating the same person over and over again? If you'd like to stay in touch with me for free resources that would support you with that specific journey, here's how you give me your email address so that I can stay in touch with you about that specific thing. Okay. And if you email your warm network, there was a time when I took everybody in my Gmail account and I emailed them there was like over 1,000 people in there, and I emailed them like 50 people at a time because I didn't want to get spam rankings. And I just said personal email from Sage, and I didn't let them see each other's email addresses. I put them all on blind carbon copy, but I just said, hey, this is the one time you're going to hear from me. You're a good friend of mine. That's why I have your email address. Want you to know that I'm doing this business. You'll never, you're not going to hear about my business again. And if you want to opt in, here's how you do it. And nobody was upset about that. So, and again, if anybody ever does get upset with you, my humble advice is always just to say, oh my God, I'm so sorry, it won't happen again. Just do not get into a power struggle about solicitation. And be legal, be clean. That's why you need, if you don't already have a way to track email addresses, you need MailChimp or iContact. You need a way that people can trust you with their email address. You need a way where you can put that little box up on your website where people can say, yes, right? I want the free gift, or yes, I want the discovery session. Here's my email address. Raise your hand if that's going to be your next step. Raise your hand if this month would be a good month to get an opt-in box on your website if you haven't already. Yeah, so about half of you, great. And raise your hand if you already do have an email database and you've got that opt-in box up. Yeah, so it's about half and half, okay? So again, if you don't have that yet, that's gonna be one of your homework assignments for this month. Let's see, I just am continuing to go through this little script, aren't I, Serena?
Rolling right along.
I'm going to talk about subject lines for a moment, and then I want Serena to talk more about your free gift. So actually, maybe, yeah, let's talk about subject lines. So one of the things that Serena and I have both spoken into on this call already is the thing that's going to make you stand out online the most is transparency. People want to know what you're doing. They want to know what's been vulnerable. They want to know what your celebrations are. If you go out there and you sound like everybody else, right? It's going to be tricky to rise above the noise. Like, so for Lisa, she's putting a brand together around stop dating narcissists. That subject line is likely going to be stronger than how to have a healthy relationship. Wouldn't you guys agree? How many of you guys would think a relationship with the word narcissist in the title is going to stand out more than the word relationship, right? Relationship's kind of general. Yeah, so you guys agree. So we're going to do a little brainstorm at the end, but we want you to be thinking about how do you stand out so that people then opt in. That's the whole game. And we can have fun with it, right? How do you be vulnerable? How do you be different? One of the most juicy subject lines of all times here at Women Rocking Business was my vulnerable Burning Man moment. We usually have like 20% of people open our emails. When I sent out an email with a subject line that said my vulnerable Burning Man moment, we had like 39% of people open it. Why do you guys think that is? Just unmute yourself and share.
People want real.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
We're willing to open up.
Yes.
Curiosity.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say.
It's more personal and they're curious. It's character development.
Yes, exactly. 100%.
I also
And you
like
had
Burning Man. I want to know what's going on in Burning Man. Make you feel.
I want to know what's going on at Burning Man, right? They have FOMO. They're like, damn, I'm not at Burning Man. Yeah, exactly. I love it.
And
So
it sounds strange with the opposite, vulnerable and burning.
it's
So you've
different.
got two-
Yeah.
Yeah, two different words.
It's a title that stands out. Good, good. So start thinking about that for yourself. We'll take some shares toward the end of the call. Start thinking about that for yourself, right? What is a way that you can stand out and say something catchy and different in your subject lines in the titles of your videos, and that's going to translate. You can also do the same thing when you're promoting a free gift and things like that. You want to talk about the free gifts, Raina?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Great. So a juicy free gift is another way to be alluring and catch people's attention. And what we recommend is you put that on your website. Since most of you are creating businesses where you're hopping on the phone with someone so you can have that discovery session, that 30 minutes where you're going to talk with one another, we recommend that you begin growing your speaking and your business through creating a free gift other than your discovery session. So for many of you, just getting an opt-in box up on your website that says breakthrough session, that's where you're at. Perfect. But if you've had that for a while, you might consider doing a video, a free audio, a visualization, some kind of guided meditation. Checklists are really hot, quizzes, something else where people who meet you at a speaking event or they've seen you around town, they're like, I'm curious about her. They're gonna go to your webpage and they're gonna click on getting this free gift. And then automatically their email goes into a system where you can contact them later. Now, one of the reasons that this is such a hot tip, ladies, is that now it gives you an excuse to reach out and connect with your client. If you've given your client, if your free gift is 5 ways to have more energy and vitality. And then you reach out to those clients, or you see them in your community, and you ask them, how's your energy doing? Did you get my free checklist? Are you doing the 5 things? And they're, hell yes, oh my God, that was amazing. Oh my God, wow, do you have more? Great. Or if they're hell no, those things did not work for me at all, I'm still really struggling, you can offer them more. So it gives a place to meet instead of just having conversations with people and saying, so how you doing, right? You're specifically on task with your business. And so your free gift can lead people to know that you've got stuff to give. Now, one of the things we want to caution you about this free gift is not to give away the farm. Don't create a 15-page pamphlet that no one could possibly digest, right? People are looking for quick, easy solutions that they can manage, and then there's more. There's something else they need from that. So I'm curious, Sage, if we want to take a couple people who have an idea of what their free gift might be.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, we can take a couple minutes. Who's got
have an idea? Just put your hand out. An idea. I've got one in my head. Okay. Vicky, yeah, let's hear from you.
I actually have a question. After they finish doing the quiz or the checklist or whatever, how do you finish that up so that they want more?
Awesome, awesome. So there is a sequence of emails and reaching out that you can do, and I believe that's in our forum. Most of that can be automated. So once they click on, they get the free gift. They'll often get a thank you email and potentially a follow-up email. And you can, that can be a wash, rinse, repeat thing, Vicki, where you have a series of emails that are all set up that are leading them towards a discovery session.
Great.
Sage, is that in the library somewhere that you know of?
Yes. Look for the nurture sequence, the example nurture sequence emails. And you can also check the website training call, and we lay out what you're going to want to include on your thank you page, because just like Serena's saying, you're going to want to send out a couple emails following up, 2 or 3 emails following up. And then you're going to want to make sure once people opt in for your free gift that there's a thank you page waiting for them. And on that thank you page, it says something like, hey, your gift is on the way. And that's where you can invite them to take a next step with you. You can invite them into a Facebook group or to follow you on Facebook. You can invite them to go watch a video to continue building that relationship. So again, we're going to be talking about funnels and how to nurture people along online over the next few months. This isn't just isolated to one conversation, because there's several levels of understanding this whole process, right? There's the list building process, then there's the nurturing clients along. So there's going to be a lot of learning that happens for you guys over the next few months with this. But if you haven't listened to the website training call because you may be a new client or you might have missed that call, that would be a great one for you to understand, how does my website link up to everything else around it, so that you can get more of a full picture of that map. And yeah, absolutely. Check out the library, and you can start thinking about, what do they need to hear in my follow-up emails so that they take advantage of the free gift. Don't forget to read, the second page of my free gift for X, Y, and Z reason. And then the next step might be to hop on a discovery session with me.
Great question. Thank you so much, Biggie. Let's give you a kiss.
Mwah! Kiss for Vicky.
Looks like Carol's next. Hi, Carol. Do you have an idea of a free gift?
Yes, it's Carol Ann.
Carol Ann, thank you.
It's okay. Yes, I've written a book on emotional abuse, and when people go to my website and they opt in, they get, I think it's about 3 or 4 pages of just little sections that I've taken out of the book to give them a sense of what the book's about and what I have to offer.
Gorgeous. So Carol, can I give you a tip? Mm-hmm. And I want to hear what Sage has to hear about this. Say about this. What I would be curious about is, how would I know if I was emotionally abused? Like, what would my symptoms be, my top symptoms? Maybe I'm suffering from all different kinds of things right now, and I'm searching for a solution, and I end up on your splash page, and you're like, take this quiz to find out if emotional abuse is causing X, Y, or Z. That might be really interesting to me to find out, like, has that happened to me and are these my symptoms? And then to follow up with a breakthrough session, right? A conversation where you're actually going to give them a mini plan based on the book and all the solutions that you have to help them with their particular issue.
Yeah, my old website, I had that as a section, because there's different sections on the website.
Yeah.
So on the website, there's also a coaching section that you can also click onto that. And I believe that's where I've got the checklist. I've got where you can connect with me to talk to you further.
Nice.
So that you opt-in, and three different opt-in sections on my page.
Wow. Great. So since you're new to the group and you haven't jumped onto the website training call, we recommend it, because one of the things that we're seeing as a trend in the industry is having one squeeze page. So there's one page that they're not clicking to all the things, so that it's just one avenue. Because oftentimes when people end up on a page like yours that is so abundant and has so much to offer, they get lost a little bit in what should I do first, and then they might bounce away from your page. So definitely go and listen to that training and pay special attention to the squeeze page and how you can optimize your page. It sounds like you have a lot to offer, Carol Ann.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Big kiss for you.
Let's take one more.
Great. Kathy, let's hear from you.
So I've done several. I've done some quizzes and a yoga nidra. And my question is, if I'm speaking to someone at a show or an event, how do I give them the link? Right, it's easy to do in an email on my web, but.
Great. So two ways. One of them is ask them to break out their phone. And then have the link written somewhere on your booth and just have them go right there. I'm just amazed at how many people have phones everywhere, all the time, without ending, right? It's just happened to our culture. So don't be afraid, ladies, to ask people to break out their phones. The other thing is you break out your phone if they don't have theirs, Kathy, or theirs is dead, whatever, and get their email address. And then send it to them really quickly. Ladies, one of the things we want you to really remember when you make these connections out in the world with people who are interested in you, do not wait to send them whatever it is you said that you would send them, or invite them into whatever group. Like, do it ASAP, because it's fresh, right? The farther they get away from meeting us, the more other people they'll meet, the more other things they'll consider, and they start to swim in all the things. So just really, really be on it out of that excitement and curiosity for the meeting, not with the like, I gotta sell this person as fast as I can, but with the excitement of creating that connection. Is that helpful, Kathy?
I have one more thing. I've been looking at the New York Times, and I'm a wellness coach, so I do a lot with health and whatnot, and they have a lot of quizzes that you can take. And so I've been looking at those and using them as a template.
Let's talk about quizzes for a moment. Quizzes are probably the hottest gift in some ways, because you can build a relationship with somebody super quickly when they find out something about themselves immediately. Does that make sense, you guys? The trick to quizzes online is people have to be able to take them in 2 minutes or less. So we have a quiz out there that generated 35,000 leads. 35,000 people took the quiz in 30 days. It's our What Type of Workshop Leader Are You quiz. Has anybody taken it? Yeah. So I might have talked to you guys about this already a little bit, but what I want to say is the best thing about quizzes is they build a relationship very quickly. The worst thing is that they're complicated. They're not easy to program online. Things can go wrong. They can break all the time. People are trying to click through the quiz and they can break if you're using like a free quiz software. And the biggest thing that's a hassle about quizzes is if you don't follow up with a video and really interact with people about what is their type, what are their assessment results, why does it matter to them? If you don't do a good job following up, people can feel like it's hokey, and then they'll go away, and then they may not be interested in engaging with you for a while. Does that make sense? Like if you blow the follow-up after a quiz, and people kind of feel like, oh, I just took that whole quiz so that you could get my email address and now it's done. If they feel that way, it can actually feel bad. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so if you're gonna do quizzes, make sure you do them well. We're gonna be adding a little quiz training to your library. It's not there yet, I don't think. I'll double check at the end of this call, but it will be there by next month. And so that you guys have like an official quiz training for those of you that wanna do it so that you can do it well. Because the follow-up that happens after a quiz is a little bit individualized. It's a little different than other free gifts follow-ups. Would that be helpful, you guys? So that's my 2 cents. I wanna keep moving.
Yeah, and let's, Sage, can we just follow Charmaine and just do a little 7th inning stretch? Ladies, there's a lot of information coming and probably a lot of brainstorming happening. So make sure that you get yourself involved. Thank you, Charmaine.
Yes, yes, yes. So Kathy is right. Everybody that's shared is exactly right. Free gifts are so wonderful because free gifts are really the way that you can get people from social media to giving you their email. Can you feel the difference? And once you have people's email, it's a much more active way of marketing. Does that make sense? Social media is a more passive way of marketing, right? People have to be on social media or Instagram or Facebook in order to see the things that you're doing on there. But once you have their email address, you can be in their inbox. So you always want to be looking for ways that you can actually send people back to a website or a squeeze page. Now, there are 2 things that we recommend you do on social media first, if you haven't already done these. Now, you're also going to want to find what social media site works best for you, right? Some of you guys love Instagram and you hate Facebook. Some of you guys are like, you're getting used to Facebook and you're not quite sure what's going on with Instagram yet. Wherever you are on that spectrum, I'm going to recommend that you consider not trying to build out every social media channel all at once. I'm going to recommend that you choose by learning one social media platform first. How many, please? Right? And that doesn't mean that you can't dabble in Instagram on the side or dabble in Facebook on the side if you're focused on Instagram. But they're all so different and they all have a different language. And there's all these fancy things you can do on all the different social media sites. If you're serving a very professional audience, LinkedIn might be a really good place for you to look. If you are serving women, there's a lot of women on Instagram. If you're serving a younger audience, there's a lot of younger audiences on Instagram. Facebook is still the most universal social media site. People are like, oh, Facebook ads are dying. It's not true, right? Any internet marketer that I know who's crushing it and running 7-figure, multi-7-figure business, they're all using Facebook. They're using Facebook groups. They're using Facebook ads because it is still the most universal site. So there's 2 things you can do on Facebook. We're going to recommend that you start with a professional page and then consider starting a Facebook group. Facebook groups are super hot. We're going to teach you how to do more with your groups this winter. Let me show you the difference really quickly so you know what I'm talking about. Many of you guys have both of these started, but here is my professional page, right? This is my professional page. It's got a picture of me in the upper left-hand corner. It's also a business page. I'm making use of the banner here. People can find out about our next event. This will soon be updated to March, right? People can actually sign up to, hear from me. You can make use of this sign up button. There's a lot of things you can start playing around with on your professional page if you haven't already launched a professional page. There's a few things that you can do on a professional page. You can make videos, right? Totally imperfect videos while where you're making very funny faces, right? There's a lot of things that you can do on your professional page that you can't do anywhere else. You can click this little boost button, right? Like this video got 2,000 views because I boosted it. I popped up a video and I boosted it, and I only put in $15 a day for 3 days. I could boost it again if I wanted, but I actually have found, and I recommend you guys to write this down if you're ever boosting anything on a professional page. And if I'm speaking a foreign language to you right now, no worries. We've got more time to help you figure this out. But anytime you boost something on a professional page, $15 a day for 3 days is kind of like the most amount of money you're going to want to put into that. And after that, you're not going to really get your money's worth. Does that make sense? Now, the other thing that you can do on Facebook is you can launch a group. So here's the difference. This is my group. When I'm in a group, everybody in the group can see each other's posts. People are way more willing to post and inspire each other and ask each other for help because they're in a group. Facebook groups are very hot right now because Facebook is actually giving priority to groups because they don't want to be known as just a sales site. They want to be known as a social site. So here's a little video I made in my group the other day because we just hit 25,000 people in the group. And notice people are going into the group because they also want to see my video. You know, there were other places that I posted like, hey, I'm just welcoming 25,000 members in, click here to see my video. And that was another way to get them to the group. Does that make sense? The way to get people into a Facebook group is to do something in there, make a video in there so that people have a reason to go in there. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about the difference between professional pages and groups again this winter. And there are trainings waiting for you in your library if you want to start playing around with Facebook groups and Facebook fan pages, professional pages. That's the same thing. Your fan page and your professional page, it's the same page. People just refer to it those two different ways. And I want to recommend that if you don't have a business page, that's a really good place to start, okay? And here's actually a quick resource for you. All you have to do is go into Facebook and click, you know, I want to create a fan page or a business page, it's the same thing. And we gave you guys a resource that we found online. This was one of the articles that we liked. This is an article about how to get people to like your page, okay? So this is a resource for you. There's a ton of ways to get people to like your business page. All you have to do is go online and Google, get people to like my business page. And there's going to be a bunch of different ways that you can invite people to like your business page totally for free. You can go into Facebook and start clicking around. The thing that you don't want to do is feel like Facebook is so intimidating that you're not willing to just click around and figure it out. Does that make sense? Go in there, make friends with people, click around. We also offered you guys our cheat sheet on how to start a Facebook group. So these resources are all available for you in this month's content, okay? Lots of groups, lots of tips about how to start your Facebook group. But again, we do really want to keep this training focused on that email list, right? Facebook is a really good way to get people back to your email list. And because we do a whole separate training on Facebook groups and Facebook business pages, we're going to ask you to hold on to those questions, and you can actually post those in the Facebook group if we don't get to them today. But I want to be really focused on how do you get those email addresses. A couple of you guys have also asked about collecting email addresses when you speak and sending people back to your website. Do you want to say a few more things about that, Serena?
Speak, 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 speak. The oldest way of creating a business is word of mouth. And it's still true. When people meet you, when they spend time with you, they see you someplace, they're more likely to want more of whatever that it is that you have. One of the places that I speak up at is at my dance. I dance 2 or 3 times a week. I always have. And I have a community of people there that I dance with that have no idea about my business. Because I'm not talking about my business on the dance floor. But when I stay after the dance, when we do the circle, and I let people know what I'm up to, I have people come up to me and they want to talk to me. I'm amazed at how easy it is, right? And that's just a few moments of me saying, hey, I have a storytelling program. So for each and every one of you, consider brainstorming 3 places in your life that you go all the time, where you could speak. You could create a small talk there. Someone's doing an event in your local community, you know them, and you want to go speak or share something, some bit of wisdom that you have. This is the #1 way to build your business. And what we recommend is you do it every month. whether you're setting up your own stage and you're creating your own platform, you're speaking for someone else who's created a platform or a stage, or you're finding networking groups, your dance community, your church community, your basket weaving community, whatever it is that you're all doing, and take 5 or 10 minutes to tell people that you are creating a business to help X, Y, or Z, right? Just fill in the blank. You will be surprised at how many people come up and talk to you for 5 or 10 minutes after that, and then offer them your discovery session, right? Get to know them, put them in a discovery session so you can find out if you're a fit to work together. This is just the #1 ways we recommend.
Yes. Speaking is going to be 10 times faster than anything you do online. And the stuff you do online can help you fill your speaking gigs, because you can post all those speaking gigs as Facebook events and online. Serena, can I add one quick thing about when you guys speak?
Yes, absolutely.
So like Serena's saying, having those free gifts and a website that has a link to your discovery sessions on it, key for really making use of those speaking gigs. I also want to point out, I know some of you guys have asked about how do I collect email addresses when I speak. You can do a text autoresponder, right? So rather than like in a small group, one-on-one, you can actually plug them into your phone. When you're talking to a group of 20 or 30 or more people, you can actually set up what's called a text autoresponder so that people can text a certain number on their phone. And when they text that number, they automatically get signed up for your email list. Does that make sense? They'll get a little text back on their phone. Have you guys already played with this? Some of you guys might have used this. We use our program called Entreport to do this, but some of our clients use something called Twilio, and they've said it's great. It's pretty affordable, but you can look for text autoresponder services on the internet. There's quite a few, and depending on whether you use MailChimp or iContact, different ones are going to work better, and you could even call your email provider, like call MailChimp or call iContact and ask which text responder service do you recommend that's going to interface with MailChimp or iContact the smoothest, because that's what you want, right? You want it to be seamless in terms of those emails showing up in your database. But essentially, when you're at a speaking engagement, people would pull out their phone, text a number. They're going to get a text back that says, congratulations, the free gift will be on its way to you. What's your email address? And then they can enter in their email address, and then they're all signed up just with their phone. And that's a very leveraged way to be collecting email addresses when you speak. Let's talk a little bit about getting interviewed.
This is another fabulous way to have multiple platforms overlapping each other. So potentially one of your friends has a Facebook group, right? And she needs someone to interview or to talk, to have a conversation with her for 10 or 15 minutes in her Facebook group. Great. Say yes to that. Get visible. Talk about what you love to do. You can take that interview and you can use it on your own Facebook page, on your business page. You can even take that link and embed it in an email that you send out to your list saying, hey, guess what? I was in this Facebook group and we were talking about the 10 hottest ways to look younger and feel better. You can tell what kind of tip I'm on today. I want more energy. So, right, you can do that. So getting interviewed is really, really hot. And what I recommend for all of you is to have a short story about you and why you do what you do for those interviews. People love stories. Again, pointing back to the vulnerability and the humanity inside that people really want to know about you. When you do these interviews, you can also point people to your website where your free gift is waiting for them. And if you mention that, it's even hotter, right? Just sending someone to your website, hotter if you're letting people know, go there. There's a free gift waiting for you if you're suffering with fatigue, if you're suffering with loneliness, if you're suffering with weight gain, right? Send them right over there. People like to click on things where they get free gifts. So say yes to interviews and consider when you meet someone of influence, ask them, do they have a platform where they speak? Do they ever invite outside speakers, right? You can be proactive when you're meeting people of influence. I often get shy when I meet people like that and I don't know what to say. That's a great thing to say. Do you speak? And then go watch them, right? Track them and see if they have an opportunity for you to share your message.
So good. So good. So helpful. How many of you guys have had one moment on this call so far where you're like, okay, my brain's starting to get boggled? A little bit? Anyone? Yeah. Okay, good. So now's a good time to remind you that if you walk away from this call and just do 2 or 3 of these things in the next few weeks, they can be big needle movers in your business. So yeah, just breathe into that and know that some of these strategies are going to be put on the shelf so that you can pick them up when you're ready for them. And some of them are going to be important for you to implement right away. And at the end of the call, we'll kind of help you sort through and recommend based on what level of business you're at, which ones you're going to want to really start implementing sooner rather than later, so that you all walk out of here with just 2 or 3 things that you can do right away. I want to talk a little bit about video for a moment, because just like Serena and I have been referring to, video is so engaging. 2 minutes or less. It doesn't have to be perfect. You being human, you sharing a quick tip, you letting people know where they can get more information from you and sending them to a website is going to be one of the most powerful things that you can do to grow your list and get the message out about what it is that you're doing. So I want to give you a quick example. This is on your handout. It's tip number 11 for building your list. A quick example of things that you can say on video that encourage people to share your videos. Because what we found is when we include some of these sentences in our videos, they're getting 2 or 3 or 4 times more shares than before. And when people share my video, then more people are opting into my list. Is that helpful? Does that make sense? So very simple things. You can say things like, hey, if you have a friend in your life who's struggling with being in an unhealthy relationship over and over and over again, or who is calling you complaining about her narcissistic boyfriend, right? Please share this video with her to help her know what's actually possible when she reclaims her power, right? So share this video with her, and remember, we're all in this together. If I were to say something like that and you were watching a video, would you be more likely or less likely to actually share it, right? It's not a sales pitch. Some of you guys are like, I don't ever share anything, right? And some of you guys are like, yeah, I mean, if I knew somebody that could actually use the content that I shared, right, that would actually be the invitation that would have you click the share button or send it on over to her or post it on her wall or his wall, right? If it was a guy friend, right? But the key here is not the sentence. Hear what I'm saying? The key here is that you give a hot enough tip on the video that people actually realize it would be helpful for their friends. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? Right? Give good shit. That's the bottom line Serena and I are saying to you. Go out there into the world and give good shit. Give people stuff they can use that's actually going to help them. Not too much, just a couple, 1 or 2, and then let them know how to share it, right? Don't forget to share this video, right? So that we can help women of the world rise up together, right? Just click the share button right now, and thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video, right? Very gracious, okay? Now, people always ask me, how many newsletters should I be sending out? As soon as you have a mailing list, we're going to recommend minimum 1 per month. And then wouldn't you say, Serena, the more your list grows, the more you're going to want to keep in touch with them. Once you have 500, 1,000 people on your list, it's really ideal to be communicating weekly. Okay? Ideally weekly. And remember that every article you send out can be repurposed. For me, I don't love writing articles anymore. I've been enjoying making video more over the last 1.5 years or so. So now I make a weekly video, I send it out to my list, and I have my copywriter turn it into an article for me. Because remember, this is really important, write this down. It's not up to you to decide how people want to consume your content. It's up to them, right? So the more mature your business grows, it's helpful to start to give people content in different forms, right? That might be the point as your business grows, where you take a video and you turn it into a short article for people that don't like watching video, right? If you have that article, you can repurpose it and post it on other people's blogs. You can be a guest blogger. If you have that video, you can also pop it up on YouTube for free and just get more traffic over on YouTube. So again, stay out of overwhelm, because some of you guys are like, look, Sage, I just made my very first video and now you're telling me to post videos everywhere. No, what I want to recommend is that you start small, but that you also can see how some of the content that you're creating can be multi-purposed. Does that make sense? So share, save it, save your videos, title your videos something that you're going to remember. Maybe you have a little library of videos that you made or articles that you wrote, because all of this stuff, it's very exciting. Serena and I reuse this stuff all the time. Do you want to add anything about the newsletters or the blogging, Serena?
Yeah, this can also be repurposed over and over again. For example, in MailChimp, you can create campaigns when you are trying to fill a program, and you can repurpose them. I just did that recently where I went back and I'm like, what did I write last year when I put a call out that my program was open? And I used that, I updated some of the photos, I revamped some of the copy, and I did it again. Ladies, this is gonna save you so many brain cells and so much creativity to repurpose, because here's the thing, people don't pay attention that closely to every little thing you send in your newsletter, especially if you sent it 6 months ago or a year ago. So really keep track of your newsletters, your blogging, all those things, and continue to repurpose them. It's just a great time saver. Sage, let's talk about...
I just want to make sure you guys don't go into what we call list avoider syndrome. You want to say just a couple more things about that, Serena, and I'm going to get up a post on Facebook.
Okay, perfect. One thing that can happen is our inner perfectionist takes over. How many of you have an inner perfectionist, or like a fear of being, yes, Sonia, right? Or like maybe the fear of being rejected or ridiculed. Yeah, if you don't get it right. I just had that happen. I just sent out an email with a typo in it, and I got 14 responses. 14 responses of people telling me that I didn't get the spelling right on one word. I was amazed. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm talking to my assistant about it, and she goes, you know what? They're paying attention. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And she goes, and guess what? Everyone who responded back to you helped us get bounced out of their spam. She's like, we should do more misspellings all the time. I'm sharing this story because like I'm here, right? I lived through it. I just got 2 more paying clients, even though I made a typo. It's okay to be imperfect, ladies. It's okay not to get it right. It's also okay to get someone to proof your emails before you're sending them out if you're a little blurry, okay? So that's okay too. But remember, not to avoid your list. You are dreaming of people coming to you for your services, and your list is really the representation of souls behind you that are really wanting to work with you, okay? So continue to love them up.
Exactly. And I love that you said that, Serena, because this is another hot tip. As your guys' list grows, it can be easier to end up in the promotions folder. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. In Gmail, a lot of emails will go directly to promotions, and then nobody ever sees them, right? The way to get out of promotions is to do exactly what Serena did. Do something when you send out an email about quarterly. We do this quarterly. We do something where we ask people to respond to the emails we're sending out. And yes, I've had many a typo and even worse in emails. And yes, we're all still standing. So don't be deathly afraid of making mistakes when you're emailing multiple people. How many of you guys have ever been like emailing like a dozen people or 100 people or 400 people at once, and you're like shaking as you click send? It's like, oh my God, this email is going out to like so many people right now, right? Normal, totally normal. That being said, you want to stay out of the promotions folder. So every 3 or 4 months, send some kind of email out, and you don't even have to send it to your entire list. As your list gets bigger, you could just send this to a segment of your list. the newest people or people that opted in a certain time frame. And you could just say, hey, in the subject line, do me a quick 1-minute favor. Hit reply to this email and let me know what's been the biggest complaint you have about being single this month. What's been the biggest thing you learned about keeping your blood sugar stable, you know, in the last couple months, right? Just a quick question that will have them respond. Ideally, it's a question you would love to know what their answers are anyway. You can get a little bit of research done about your database and you can have them responding to you. That's what these internet robots are looking for. They're looking for spammers who never have anybody reply to the email address. Does that make sense? So if every 3 or 4 months you send out an email that tells people, will you just reply to this email and tell me this one quick thing? You're immediately out of promotions. Is that helpful? All right, lots of good tips today. Remember, some of these tips are going to go on the shelf. Some of them can get used right away. So I want to do a quick brainstorm about subject lines because I think this is one of the pieces. This is going to be one of the pieces that has you stand out so that your list grows, right? What is the hottest subject line you can come up with? What is the hottest video title you could come up with? And again, those subject lines can be the same as a video title. You can use the same phrase both places. So let's keep brainstorming about that. Some of you guys already came up with one. Type it into Facebook. I kind of want to see if you guys are on track with this. So we'll take some shares and we're also totally available to take some questions if anybody's sitting around in confusion. Is that Vaidehi over there, Goddess Moon? What you got, sister?
Hello. My question was a while back, but let's get on to the email questioning. I do have a question because I'm actually organizing all my emails right now, and it's been a thing.
Well, it's such good timing that we're talking about this.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm transitioning all my stuff to Squarespace email because I felt like just having so many different platforms is driving me nuts. And I've been labeling and tagging all the emails into different groups. And what I'm noticing is I have so many different groups. I have LA contacts, I have Santa Cruz events, I have people that are in my online programs, people that filled out a Squarespace form but didn't follow up, and people that have booked a manifestation call but didn't sign up. So I'm trying to understand.
Can I just reflect back that you sound very organized right now?
Oh, what? Oh my God, cool.
Would you guys agree? Like, she just rattled out exactly what the 5 or 6 different groups are. She knows who they are, and she's entering them in that form so that she could connect with people on an individual basis. It's amazing.
Thanks. It took me 3 hours yesterday, and I thought I did nothing.
I understand the feeling. Sometimes it feels like you're doing nothing, but I want to speak into this for everybody real quick. Would that be okay, Vaidehi?
Yeah.
I just want to say that when you guys are stopping to put structures in your business, you're not stopping, you're slowing down so that you can put a structure in your business. It's going to feel that way. It's going to feel like, oh my God, I'm not getting anything done. But I'm here to tell you, you have to slow down to speed up. Okay? Write that down. It's super important. You have to slow down to speed up. This is the way you speed up, is by slowing down enough to get these structures in place. Okay, back to you, Vaidehi.
Thank you. Thank you for that too. And I have a newsletter or like an email thing that I've drafted that I want to send out, but I'm kind of like, do I speak to these people differently? And as I'm hearing the call, I'm kind of like getting ideas, but I'm just a little bit like, how do I start? I want to get on a bi-monthly email flow, and I'm just having a hard time figuring out how to start once it's all organized.
Yeah, I think exactly what Serena said earlier, right? Wouldn't you agree, Serena? Just warm them up by letting them know, hey, here's what I have coming up. Here's what I've been doing. And just know that some people, like if they're a contact from LA from a while back, they may unsubscribe because it may not be a fit for them anymore, but that's okay because they're not your ideal client anyway. Don't be afraid of unsubscribes. Okay, that's going to be really important for you guys to leave this call with that knowledge as well. if you're going to have a mailing list, unsubscribing is going to happen. That's just the name of the game. Okay. We've never in the history of Women Rocking Business got an email where we didn't get some unsubscribes. And, you know, my friends who did email marketing, my friends who do email marketing with any decent amount of people on their list have the exact same experience. In fact, if you're not getting unsubscribes, there's a lot of internet marketers that will tell you you're not actually emailing enough, right? So I would say, you know, think about what it is that you're really offering and how you can help people, and send warm-up emails in that vein.
Yeah, and what I have is like, hi, new moon energy stuff. Happy October. Here's some things you can do. Yay, Goddess Moon Temple energy. Okay, great.
She just totally flipped into her Moon Temple energy. Can you feel it?
Kind of mocking it too. And then I have upcoming events that are local, but then I have upcoming events that are online and free, and I have my online programs and my manifestation calls.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have so much going on, and I get you're like, what do I do first? And for you and everyone else, one of the things we recommend is giving generously in your emails before you're soliciting people to do something, right? You want to offer them tips, tricks, articles. Really, you're generously offering them things so that they're opening your list, they're curious. And then after 2 or 3 of those emails, you want to invite them to something directly, right? So be strategic, Vaidehi, about what's next for you. What are you trying to fill? What do you want people to opt into? And that's why segmenting your list can be really interesting. Like Sage was saying, your LA list, they're probably only going to get connected with you virtually. So save that segment for your virtual offer, right? So get strategic about what is it, the outcome that you want to have, and definitely nurture all of them with your moon goodness. Give it to them all. Yeah.
And remember, I love that, Serena. And remember, you guys, you don't have to figure out a plan for the next 3 months worth of emails. Just go one at a time. What's the next thing you have coming up? What's the next piece of content you'd love to get in front of your list? And then you can ask yourself, does everybody on my list want to hear this? Is there a segment that doesn't want to hear it? And you're just going to go week by week, and you're going to learn a ton. And as you have questions coming up, you know, Shannon and Claire and Serena and I were all trained to support you with that in the Facebook group, because trust me when I say this is a topic that you guys are going to have probably questions about all year long. So we're going to be helping you learn. I'm still learning distinctions of how I can segment my list and how I can do behavior-based follow-up. And if somebody's watched my entire webinar, they might get one email. And if they've only watched half the webinar, they'd get another email. And how do we actually, you know, treat those two people differently? And there's a lot of sophistication here. There's a lot to learn. So we've got you all year long. Just keep asking. Okay, Vaidehi?
Yes, one last little thing and I'm done. And thank you so much. This is really helpful. Eventbrite, free events, emails come in. We're not allowed to solicit them, but we're allowed to be like, RSVP coming soon. Is it okay to be like, hello, those of you that came through Eventbrite, would you like to join my newsletter?
Well, first of all, if they came through Eventbrite, the first step to follow up with them is, are you coming to my next event, right?
Which they did, and they should, you know, they showed up, and I signed some of them up, but there were people that signed up but didn't show up.
And then the next step, and this is a great question, I'll be honest, I say this with total love, it's never that enticing to just sign up for a newsletter. People want to sign up for a thing, a piece of content. Does that make sense? So if you'd like to sign up for my full moon ritual or my, how to harness the energy of the moon checklist, right? I'm trying to tap into the goddess moon energy. How am I doing?
Good.
Yeah, so the checklist, the little ritual that you can get them of some kind, that's what they're going to want to sign up for this. So that's what you want to send them on Eventbrite.
So even though I'm not allowed to solicit them, I can be like, hey, didn't make it to the last event? No problem. Here's a way to stay on top of upcoming events. Click here.
Well, here's the thing. Eventbrite, Facebook, Instagram, all the rules changing all the time. I know my team has followed up with people on Eventbrite without getting shut down. I'm not going to ever promise you that you're not going to get shut down. If you do get shut down, there are always ways to get out of being shut down. Okay. But be careful, be cautious. You might want to start with a few. Whenever my team and I are trying to kind of like tread lightly when we're following up with people through different social media systems and things like that, we'll send a message out to 5 people that just say, hey, here's a way to stay in touch with us, or here's the next step. And we make it sound really informal and, personalized. And then we'll kind of wait and see how that went over, right? Because these systems will shut you down if you break their rules too much. So always read the fine print, and always be willing to do your best to stay in touch with people, because that's how you nurture the relationship. And let us know what you learn so we can all learn together.
Okay.
Anything to add, Serena?
No, that was brilliant. Great questions by Dehi. Big kiss for you.
Mwah. All right. We have some beautiful examples of subject lines on the Facebook page. Let me share a few, and then Serena and I will take a couple more questions. So Joanne, 3 massive mistakes women make that keep them tired, depressed, and utterly miserable. I love it, Joanne. This is great. I don't know how many of us would describe ourselves as utterly miserable, but tired and depressed, certainly. Joanne, one thing that you might want to do is you might want to try a few titles. One of the things that I always say to do, if you can, especially in titles, like if it's a title of a signature talk, see if you can edify your clients a little bit. So Joanne, you'd be able to do that by saying something like 3 massive mistakes professional women make that keep them tired and depressed, right? Does that make sense? Or 3 mistakes successful women make that keep them tired and depressed. It's like, how do we actually make them feel a little bit good about themselves before we say, are you utterly miserable, right? Because not everybody's going to want to raise their hand to, are you utterly miserable? Does that make sense, you guys? So it's like you're always walking that fine line. But Joanne, I love menopause made easy in 2 months. So hot, so hot. Pamela's got some Facebook Lives. She's done how to lose weight while binging on Netflix and the shocking truth about our health and flying. Ooh, that's hot. I love both of those.
That's fun.
Yeah. Bridget, 3 simple steps of self-care. Bridget, you're close. I would love to see you pass the face test a little bit more with that.
I tried to delete that.
Oh, no worries. We'll let you post another one when you're ready. Juliet, know the deeper reasons behind your particular hotspots and gifts in your primary partnerships. I love where you're going, Juliet. I wonder if we can get that shorter and more succinct, right? Juliet, I could think of a couple fun titles for you, and Serena, feel free to help me if any popcorn in for you, but it's like, Juliet, you could even say something like, discover the 3 reasons why your partner is triggering you, right? Why is your partner triggering you? Like, raise your hand if you ever would have opened up an article with that topic, right? It's like, that's what we all want to know. How do we not be triggered by our partner, right? Kathy, duct tape, snowshoes in my belly. So Kathy, that's going to be a great name for a newsletter or an article for people who are already following you, because they already want to know what you have to say about staying healthy in cold weather, right? But for new people, Kathy, you might want to start with something a little bit more obvious, right? How to stay healthy when the temperatures plunge. Like, that alone is really hot. Heidi's had great open rates with subject lines that include open me. I love that. Be brave and openness, right? Absolutely. And what's fun about subject lines lines like that is you can throw those in every once in a while. If you do it more than once, your people are going to start, right, not responding, because they're going to be like, that's what she said last week, right? But Heidi, you're so right. Throwing in some really simple subject lines where you include their name in the subject line is really hot. You guys know how in MailChimp or iContact or Entreport, we recommend that at some point you guys think about going to a system like Entreport. Entreport is great because you can actually put up web pages. You can do a lot of the things that you need to do to get an online business going all in one place with Entreport. So it's pretty cool. you might want to check it out. We have, we've got a way that you can sign up through Women Working Business. Just email the team and they'll get you that link. But we do things like we'll say, attention first name. Are you a woman speaker? You know, so when it shows up in your inbox, it says, attention Kat, are you a woman speaker? Or attention Kat, what's your biggest challenge about getting on stage? And it feels very personalized right there in the subject line. Of course, that's a thing that you can't do every single time. All right, Serena, want to say anything more about that piece?
No, you're hitting the points right on the head.
These are great examples, you guys. Keep them coming. We're going to keep giving you thumbs up on Facebook. I think we should talk about choosing a first step to list building.
Great idea. And are we going to post that on the Facebook page, or did you already?
I would be happy to and delighted to post it.
Excellent. So ladies, if you're feeling overwhelmed, the best way to get out of overwhelm is just to make the next best choice for yourself. What's the one next thing that you're going to do to build your list? And really get concrete about what that is. Just saying that you're going to put up a free gift on your web page, you may still have to find a designer. You may still have to find the hot title. So break down each of your commitments into small baby steps, and that will be really helpful. So Sage is going to post something on the Facebook page, and what we'd like for you all to do is commit today is, what is the next thing you're going to do to build your list? And potentially under that, put 3 micro steps that you might need to do to support that one big action. Because when we break down our next step into small baby actions, then we're going to have the satisfaction of day by day returning to that list and checking one thing after another until finally the big task is done. Okay? Because you can't build a ship or an airplane all in one day. It's baby steps. So Sage is going to put that up. We'd like for you to comment on that before you jump off the page today, so we can really hold you accountable.
Let's go ahead and yeah, I'd love to just have you guys unmute yourselves and popcorn out one sentence, one phrase. What is your first next step?
This is Becca. This month is Miscarriage Awareness Month, which is my field, right? So I'm going to be sending out to everybody in my personal email that this is what I'm up to. And, you know, if they know people, somebody's going to know somebody that needs my services.
And definitely include in there something for if anyone's getting that email and they have had a miscarriage, some tips that they can do to take care of themselves. Right? Yep. So there's some generosity in there. If someone's opening that up and they're like, oh my God, that's me. These are some things I can do to care for me. And I can also get in touch with Becca. Yeah?
Yep.
Great. Good job getting out there, lady. Big kiss for you.
This is Jessica. I want to build the opt-in page to capture email addresses to build a list. The micro steps is to decide which company to use to build that opt-in page. I've been doing research. It's overwhelmed by just that process because like Wix, Teachable, or Lead Pages, they're all different. So I know I just need to pick one, but then I don't want to like pick one and then down the road go, oh, then have to shift the whole thing.
Yeah, totally. So when you pick the one or the two that you think are good for you, you can always put those up on the private Facebook page and ask for advice from anyone who's used those two systems and ask how it's working for them so that you don't have to choose all by yourself.
Okay.
Beautiful. Kiss for Jessica. Mwah. I love that you guys are speaking to micro steps, and thank you so much for making that decision or that distinction, Serena, because when you guys go over here and post your 1 to 2 next list building steps here, let me change this so that you guys can do 1 or 2, because I know for some of you, 1 is a lot for some of you, right? what we need to get clear on is the fact that when you say, I'm going to launch my opt-in page, there's a lot of steps to launching an opt-in page. You need to know if you're using an image. You need to know what text is going on that opt-in page. You need to know how to put the opt-in box on the opt-in page so people can give you their email address. So you or your assistant might need to get on the phone with iContact or MailChimp to figure that out. You might want to hire your teenager or your neighbor who is a teenager to help you. I have hired many a teenager that lives within a half-a-mile radius from Sage. I like to meet teenagers when I'm out for my runs and ask them if they're good at technology, especially in the first few years of my business. I made friends with a lot of teenagers that helped me get things up on my websites. I didn't like doing it myself. So whatever way you figure out to get these things handled, like Serena's saying, right, rather than having the opt-in page live on your to-do list for the next 3 months, and then January hits and you're like, oh, you're beating yourself up because you still haven't done it. Break it down into the 3 or 5 steps that you're going to need to do to actually make that thing happen. And then plug it into your calendar and tackle those things one at a time so that we can actually make some headway in terms of you guys getting your squeeze pages up, you guys getting your fan pages up. Let's see, who else wants to share? How about Ashley Moon?
What am I sharing?
What you are committed to doing to build your list. And if you have any questions, now's a great time for that too.
Okay, great. Yes, I am organizing and nurturing the lists I already have, similar to Videhi, and that includes checking in with clients, which is something I've been doing lately, is calling them and seeing how they're doing, listening, letting them know what I'm up to, and asking if they're on my list, if I can add them. So that's one kind of thing, is I'm organizing and nurturing my list. But the second thing I'm excited is to start a business Facebook group. And my question is, because my Instagram and Facebook pages are all Creatively Neat Organizing and Coaching, could my Facebook group be called Creatively Neat Community?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was my question.
Great.
Yep.
And I want to make a welcome video, have it ready in there when they join, and encourage them to go get the free gift, which is at the moment 3 simple steps to organizing anything. And it's a checklist, and I've already got like 100 people who have signed up to get that recently. And I just need to be better and more consistent about nurturing lists, and I haven't been. So
it's a great commitment. That's a great commitment, and that sounds like a list that is doable for now, and then just keep going.
Yeah, even though I really want to help people with life purpose and do these deeper spiritual readings, I've gotten so much out of Lisa's questions and your responses to how to really have integrity with nurturing and organizing different groups and asking for their permission and see if they're interested in this other thing. Because I don't want to force them to go somewhere they may not be ready. Like I do help people get organized, stay organized. I'm nervous that I'm going to stay in that box and I'm just going to virtually organize people over the phone, when what I really want to do is take them deeper.
Okay, then I want to pause, and I think Serena, well, I'd love to hear your thoughts, Serena, but I want to pause and say that if you really do want to be helping people on a path of purpose, you may want to think about just launching a Facebook group for that, because it's enough work to nurture one Facebook group. Does that make sense? Like, as you guys learn about Facebook groups and how to nurture Facebook groups and really monetize Facebook groups, it takes time, right? Just like anything else you do in your business. And so I'd much rather you actually launch a group that is going to take you in the direction of the niche you want to be serving.
Yep, I totally agree. I totally agree.
So it could be called, purpose-based visionaries. It could be called the Claim Your Purpose community, the, Claim Your Purpose tribe, the Passion tribe, right?
Yeah. And actually what's going to be helpful for you is when you reach out to those people that you've helped with clutter, is show them that first step that they did with you was absolutely necessary for them to get clear on their life. And that the next step is actually getting on purpose, and show them that everything they've been doing is good and there's more, right? There's an evolution. Once we get a handle on our stuff, then we can get moving, and we're not cluttered by stuff that helps us get on purpose. So for you, when you're sending out those emails to those old clients, help them see that it's a logical next step for them. And then if they're curious, this is where they go for more. Okay. Yeah, awesome. Big kiss for you. We got some more.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Love to hear from Juliet over in England. Hi, Juliet. I got you unmuted, love.
Okay, great. So I created my Facebook page, and then I go into paralysis analysis as to where to start. And it's like, oh, I'm there. So I'm sort of visible, but not visible. I don't think I've even published, because I had another group I started previously, not connected. It was sort of connected with a part of me, but not my brand name. So then I've stuck between two, and I like that one, Your Wise and Wild Self. But the one that I'm trying to develop is the relationship translator. So now I'm split.
This. I love this, Juliet. This is a common problem with women. We don't want anything to die. If we have loved anything in our lives, we're like, we don't want it to die. Even if it's a Facebook group, we're like, no. And here's the thing. Even farmers who are planting all the things in their garden, right? They can't, everything doesn't come to fruition. Some of the sunflowers get eaten by the birds. Some of the tomatoes fall on the ground. It's a natural thing in our lives that creation, everything we create, doesn't fruit. For you, Juliet, for your business that you're focusing right now, that you're really getting a lot of traction and clarity on, helping people with relationship and getting clear on that language, the best thing you could do is put your energy towards clarifying that message and heralding to the world, this is what I do now. This is what I do now. And get those wild ones that were over on that other Facebook to join you, right? Bring them along with your evolution. That would be the best thing to do with your creative energy right now. Is that landing?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And the other group is tiny anyway.
There you go. So if you committed to this new group, great. So if you committed to this new group, Juliet, what would be the 2 next steps you do? First, committing to that group, and then
creating a posting schedule.
Yeah.
So I create my content schedule for each week, or I pre-schedule it. So I do a batch.
Awesome.
A batch schedule.
Structure under you to commit to posting and having a timeline for that. Excellent. The third thing would be what?
Invite people.
Yes. Yes. Now that you're creating, you have structure, you're going to invite people. Excellent. And the fourth thing I would ask for you from Juliet is just get accountability from one other woman on the team.
Okay.
Even if you guys are just texting back and forth, like it's Monday, I said I'd post, and it's 3 o'clock and I still haven't gotten it done, right? Get accountability on that, okay?
Got it.
Awesome.
Right.
So excited for you. Congratulations.
Cool.
Do you want to add something to that?
You got it. And that's the thing, right? Like when you let people know that a group's going to close or that you're not going to be, active in a certain place anymore, and then you give them a little bit of a countdown, you'll have a much better success rate moving people over, right? So you can say, hey, this is being closed on Friday, on Monday. And then on Wednesday, you can say, hey, I'm closing this down in 2 days. Join me over here instead, right? So that it's really clear. I want to talk a little bit about how many emails to send out when you guys are actually promoting something, because some of you are not emailing enough. So we'll talk a little bit more about this next week on the Q&A call, but I want to really warm you up to the truth that not everybody sees all your emails. Does that make sense? Emails just go into the ethers. They don't all land in people's inboxes. Some of them could go into spam. Some of them could go into promotions. Some of them just won't land for whatever reason. And so that's actually another reason why, especially when you're promoting something or you have a really good article, it's a great idea to start emailing a few days later to your unopens, right? If it's a really great piece of content, or if you're opening up space for a discovery session, or if you have an event coming up, don't be afraid to email 2 or 3 times. Email to unopened so that they see it a second time in case they didn't see it. We'll give you a few more guidelines for how much to email next week, but I'm here to tell you, I know some of you guys are like, I don't want to offend people, but we want to warm you up to being in the game of making sure that your emails get in front of the right noses. Now, I know there's a bunch more questions and we are at time today. So we're going to be on Facebook answering your questions this week. And then of course, next week is the Q&A call. So you'll have the whole call to really dive in to questions that are burning, write them down and loop back around to them. And then be sure, if you haven't already, to head over to the Facebook group and let us know what your next commitment is. I love these. I love that Tanya's going to sign up for MailChimp. I love that many of you are signing up for MailChimp. Awesome. Florentina, Lisa, create your free gift. I love this. Doing stuff in Facebook. These are great. If you haven't, let us know what it is that you're committing to get done this week. Please do. So that we can hold you accountable to that, and so that we can really identify like where you're at in the spectrum of growing your list. And your coaches peek at these every week to see where you're at. So this helps your coaches know what you're working on as well. I wanted to remind you that our new clients are in their video challenge. So our new clients have been challenged to make a 90-second video sharing their mission statement this week. Now, if you have been with us since the spring, you are also welcome to make that video again. Or some of you might have been with us since the spring and you didn't have a chance to make the video for whatever reason. You're welcome to play in the video challenge again. Does that make sense? And whether you're a new client or whether you're a spring client, would you be willing to also leave those 3 comments on the videos that you see? Be willing to leave some comments letting women know what leadership qualities you see in them. Raise your hand if you'd be willing, because that's a big part of the value of this community is practice making videos. You want to know how you're showing up. What do people see in you, right? So that we can continue to grow your confidence to make more and more videos. So have fun making those videos. They're due next week. And if you have not already, grab your room at 1440, because last I heard we have just 2 or 3 rooms left in our room block, which are a discounted room block. So grab those rooms today. Is there anything else I'm missing, Serena, in terms of wrapping up for this week? Let's make sure you're unmuted.
I was over on Facebook commenting on some of these hot titles because I really wanted to give you ladies some feedback. My advice is stay engaged, ladies. Stay engaged with this program. There is so much here for you, and take one step at a time so that you can really wrap your mind around what you need to do today, tomorrow, this week, and your businesses will grow. Each and every one of you is here because you have a gift to bring. And if you're confused, you've got fear, you're full of doubt, that means you're in the right place. It means you're getting closer to having an experience of something other than that by building your business. We so believe in you. Sage, it's an honor to train alongside you again. What a delight you are. And thank you for all that you've done to put a stake in the ground, that you would get past your fear and doubt so that you could serve more women.
It's happening. Your clients are waiting for you. And I know it sometimes seems like so much information. And like Serena's saying, keep yourself out of overwhelm, right? Take care of yourself. Take a walk around the block and breathe, and then get back to taking those next action steps. The action steps that you're posting on Facebook are exactly right. You guys, what I've seen so far, you're on the right track. If you keep going, there's no question, success is waiting. Okay. Truly, every time I've seen women do this, when they keep going, then they start having the success, the clients popping onto discovery sessions, the more and more clients hiring them. Go ahead and unmute yourselves and just share one word of what you're walking away from the call with.
Clarity.
Clarity.
Motivation.
Action.
Courage.
Commitment.
Commitment.
Inspiration.
All steps.
Motivation.
Yeah, motivation.
Awesome. So wonderful. Have a great rest of your day, you guys. Enjoy working on building your list, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Serena. I love you.
Bye.
Love you all.
Go get 'em. Go get 'em.
Lots of love.
Thank you.
Go get 'em. Your clients are waiting.
Bye, ladies. Can't wait to see you all at retreat.
Hello, Masai.
Bye for
Nice
now.
to see you here.